Okay, so this video is a bit of a review on a new telephone that I purchased from eBay. Now, you may have seen this video or a video similar to this with the same kind of product, which was filmed a week or so ago by Lewis, who is video channel Ringway Manchester. And this is a bit of a follow-up really from his video, in that we both saw these online and decided it'd be a good idea to both get one of these phones. I've been on the market for another mobile phone anyway, because I love the gadgets, as you probably know, and I decided that this sort of telephone would be perfect for me. It's a great little base unit, mobile phone, works in all sorts of different circumstances, surroundings and areas, and in many ways it works better than the average handheld. For instance, my iPhone 6S. No aerial on this, it's got integrated antenna, doesn't work brilliantly in a lot of areas, but you know, it's one of those things, that's technology, I guess. The older technology, where you have a big aerial and a big battery and a simpler phone, I always find works better. That's why if you've seen my older videos, you would have seen my car phones and my transportable phones, the Motorola 7200s and all those sorts of things. And this is a nice little follow-up from those, really. Okay, so what we have basically, if you're not aware, it's a desktop mobile cellular telephone. Works just like an ordinary mobile phone, and also similarly it works just like a house telephone. Difference is you've got an aerial on the side. Underneath here you have a little compartment for the battery, and underneath the battery you've got a slot for a little SIM card to go into there. So the idea being, you can use it just as a mobile phone. You can use it in all areas on different networks. It works on GSM and PCN. So PCN is the networks that Orange and EE use, and also the old Mercury. GSM is what we now have as O2, Cellnet, Vodafone, those sort of things. As you can see on the box, it does say it's a quad band. So it also covers the other frequencies of 850, 918 and 1900. So with that in mind, that will obviously work with the States. Okay, so the United States could use that as well. So you just stick your SIM card in and it works straight away. I've only seen two of these types of phones. There's this one here, and they do a white version. And there's also a slightly different version that they do, but the same sort of principle. But I don't know much about that, so I can't really tell you much about that one. So what do we have? Well, we've got a nice little base telephone here that sits comfortably on your desktop and sits there keeping itself to itself. First thing you need to do is to power it up. So we just press the power button up there to turn it on. And in fact, if I adjust the camera, you'll get a better view. Okay, so again, light is an issue in this room because I've got that many windows in this back kitchen. There's always reflections sort of bouncing around. But as you can see from the screen, hopefully you can see, the screen display shows that I've got a giffgaff SIM card in there. It gives you the battery indicator at the top right. Top left, you've got a signal indicator, and it tells you the time, the date, and then obviously your menu options and menus and the contact buttons there. Aerial folds down out of the way, pops up, tend to keep it up. It doesn't really matter if it's down in most areas. In fact, it works just as well with the aerial down. The mere fact it's got an aerial outside of the box, and it's as big as it is, indicates it's going to be something that draws in a better signal anyway. So I keep the aerial up, and it's now on standby awaiting for a phone call. So the great thing about this phone is that for someone perhaps where they don't have a landline but they need to have a telephone in the house for a certain period of time, or into an office, they may not be familiar with using modern telephones or mobile phones, this works just like an ordinary telephone does. So what you can do to make a phone call, you just pick it up, the receiver, and if you listen, you can actually hear a dialing tone, which you don't normally get. So you can now dial a number straight away. So, I've got the number wrong. That's fine, isn't it? Let's try that again. There we go. And it rings. And you got the dialing tone there. Okay, so in pretty much the same way, if you want to make a phone call from hands-free, you press the speaker button and then you dial your number. And then it would also then ring out. That's how it works. It really is nice and simple. You can send text messages, you can receive text messages, you can go through your contacts. At the moment I've put a SIM card in from giffgaff, and this will just give me all the giffgaff different numbers there. We'll select that one, and then there we go, giffgaff voicemail. Okay, this is the phone. So if you want, you can have a look at the menu system. You can have a look at the messages. Let's look at the inbox. I've got 4 messages in the inbox. One from giffgaff. Open it up. giffgaff recommend giffgaff by 1st of the 11th and get an extra reward of £5 credit. Plus you'll get £5 payback. And it goes on. And that's how you read your messages. Very much like the older style Motorola phones, in fact. We can go back further to other messages. There's a message from me, and there's a few other messages that are in the inbox. So, you know, I'm not going to go through the full ins and outs of how to use the menu system and what else you can do with it. But as far as to say, it works just like an ordinary telephone does in the house. And, you know, you can take it out and about with you. In areas where an ordinary mobile phone doesn't necessarily work, this will work a lot better. It can be wall mounted as well, as you can see by the shape of it. The only issue is that, of course, you have an option to change this little peg round here so the handset doesn't sort of roll straight off. It will hold on if it's wall mountable, but it's not all that sturdy. Come back into focus for you, then back into shot. And that's it really. You charge it up by sticking in your power adapter in the back. I've had this on fully charged and left it switched on standby for just over a week, with it only making a couple of phone calls about 2 or 3 minutes long and receiving a couple of minutes worth of phone calls as well. So it really is a very good battery life on this. I suppose in many ways it's because you're not running all the other apps that you tend to be running on iPhones. You don't have the same sort of power consumption requirements, do you? So it works very well. And I suppose in many ways you can have it like as a bit of a bug out telephone in the back of your car for an emergency, for if you break down or any of those occasions where you need a phone and you haven't got one. This will probably work better in areas where these phones don't work. So what we're going to do then, hopefully over the next few days, to give you a proper demonstration of the clarity and the full workings, is I'll be doing a video hopefully in conjunction with Lewis, Ringway Manchester, and we'll actually have a bit of a chat on the phones. We'll phone each other up on both of our phones and see how we get on. And you'll see for yourself the clarity and the various ways of the work. There's also an input in the corner here for a little mini USB. I have plugged it in. I was hoping this would charge from a USB, but unfortunately it doesn't. I think it should. I plugged it in onto my computer, charged from a computer USB, and it gives you the options. When you look at the screen, it gives you the options to connect to a computer or to a charger. I've told it it's a charger, and it doesn't seem to charge the battery. So I don't know what's up with that one. So that's perhaps something we can ask Lewis when we have his video up next. The power supply that comes to charge it from the mains for the rear charger, it's one of these awful, what are they, European type plugs. It comes with an adapter, probably fused, probably not, I don't know. But yeah, it charges well. It takes a couple of hours for a full charge. But like I say, it lasts just over a week. I went for the black one because I figured, because I use it in my shack mainly, I didn't want white because it'd be showing the dirt. So this helps to make it look a little bit less tacky after a while once it would normally be dirty. But there you go, made in China. I paid about £30 for this, I think. But you can see the various different features of the telephone from that box. Okay, it's been a very quick, short video. It's not been the best. Not really a very good review video, to be honest. I've not really shown you very much that it can do, have I? But I was in a hurry to get this out. Bit of pressure there on me. Okay, thanks for watching. Take a look on eBay if you fancy getting one. Chinavision.com, or just go straight onto eBay and just do a search for a desktop mobile phone. I think is the best way to find it, and that should take you straight to them. There's quite a few different prices out there, ranging from between £30 and £45, I think. So you have a few different options and perhaps a few different colour phones as well. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon in my next video.